Hello friends, welcome to the channel. Bob here. I don't have much for you today, so if you're not interested in just looking at not much, yep, time to move on. Click close, go and watch something else. This is just a little daily vid. No, like I say, I didn't do a video yesterday, did I? So it's not really daily, but this is just like a little video, kind of daily, just to say hello. Hope everyone's doing okay. We're all okay here so far, it seems. It's very weird at the moment, very weird. It is a bit like being in a film. Like we went out for some exercise yesterday morning, walked along the river near where we live, and I think we saw one person. Yeah, and I kind of keep, you're walking along and you think, oh, that house over there, let's go and have a look. Let's go and see what we can scavenge and bring back to base, kind of thing. It's we did see like a cyclist cycle past, and I used to really enjoy cycling, and I was thinking to myself, yeah, it'd be great to go cycling at the moment, because you're cycling around and there's just no one, no cars, nothing, just a weird bit like being in a film game type thing. Obviously some people are not taking notice and are sort of doing what they want. Some people are kind of forced into it, I guess, from a work point of view, but you've also got some numpties. I won't say like a plenty of numpties. I think it's a minority. I mean, there was a video doing the round yesterday on YouTube or something, not YouTube, Facebook or Twitter or something, of I'm not sure where it was in the country, but some police turned up and on a megaphone said, "What are you people doing? Go home, you numpties." Which I thought was brilliant, and they need to be doing more of that. Yeah, but unfortunately I think there are some people who seem to be being left to get on with it and fend for themselves. I think for some reason I kind of thought that the Conservative government, and Boris Johnson in particular, would not be as liberal. I'm not quite sure why I had that impression, but my impression was foot down on the neck kind of fascism. And again, maybe unfairly it seems, but I'm not, they don't seem to be enforcing things. I expected them to, although I don't know if that's out of any kind of real liberalism. It's up until the weekend, I think, as I said, I was kind of going with it. They seem to be doing okay, but now I feel a little bit like they're saying, we're telling you should stay at home. If you don't, it's down to you. Rather than stay the hell at home, and if you don't, we're going to get you, kind of thing. And that, I mean, even as someone who feels as politically about things as I do, I'm kind of feeling that at the moment I'd almost prefer that, because we're talking about, oh, for God's sake, because we are talking about, I'm not prepared at all, we are talking about people's lives after all. Yeah, so I'm surprised that's not the case. But thinking about it, I kind of feel that it's almost a bit like, we told you, and if things go wrong, you can't blame us. That feels, maybe I'm being unfair, but that kind of feels a little bit like what's going on at the moment. But we'll have to see. I have to say, things are a lot worse in other countries. I mean, we are apparently a couple of weeks behind certain countries like Italy, etc. Or we were a couple of days ago. Yeah, but we'll have to see how things go. I guess only time will tell who was right and who was wrong. I mean, South Korea seemed to be right from all of the news that's coming out. Yeah, but I guess we'll just have to see. But I did have a couple of things to talk about on this video today, which is mostly why it's essentially why I pressed record. Because it's always good to have something to talk about rather than just this. This would essentially be the end of the video if I didn't have something to talk about. One of them was about the internet in general. One of them was about the game. I had I had a pretty crappy experience the other day, and I did capture it on video, but I decided not to put it up. Yeah, no names, no pack drill, but I was kind of doing what I'm doing here, and there was a a person, another player, running around. I was at the 3. I mean, this person had kind of pretty much passed me at the 3 different skeleton camps. Kind of knew what I was doing, and I was at the one over yonder. And let me just see. My pet is blue. Okay, it should be able to survive long enough on the skeleton front. Yeah, I was over on the one on yonder, waiting to charm it, sitting near it. As I said, this person had kind of run past me a number of times. I don't know if he was waiting for me to leave or whatever, but you know, it was obvious what I was doing. Kind of ran past me, and as he ran past me, literally, he didn't believe it, but this is exactly what happened. You know me, I try to be pretty fair. I wouldn't make stuff up. As he kind of ran past me, it spawned, and he charged in, essentially, and I kind of wasn't having any of it, so I charmed it. And bearing in mind, as I said, he knew what I was doing. He immediately ran around to the other skeleton that I would have used that I would have attacked with my pet. So, as I said, try to be fair, but it was clear what he was doing. It's clear what he was doing. He wanted the camp. He's logged in. Someone's at his camp. He wanted it, and he was going to be a numpty. That's kind of how it seemed. And he immediately ran around and attacked it. Now, I will admit that I probably did the wrong thing. The skeleton was up, and he attacked it first, so I probably should have left it, but I wasn't going to. Oops. Oh, I resisted the root spell. That's handy. but I wasn't going to leave it. I would have done under normal circumstances. But he clearly saw what I was doing. He knew what I was doing. I'm pretty sure that he kind of does the same thing. He's probably camped these skeletons as well, and he goes between them and kills them, which is what I was doing. Now, when I got round the corner, the other skeleton was up, and I wasn't there to attack it. So you could say that he was in the right. But because he immediately ran round and attacked it, that's numpty activity as far as I'm concerned. Because he knew what was going on. He knew what I was doing. I'm sure he's done it before. Because I was charming and fighting, having the 2 skeletons fight each other. These would only have been like less than a minute apart. So the skeleton would have only have spawned less than a minute before. But because I wasn't at the camp, blah blah blah. And we had a back and forth, not much. I think it essentially amounted to about half a dozen lines of conversation, and kind of got all rules lawry. Well, you've got to be at the camp, blah blah blah, and I think like my final comment was, you could see what I was doing. Like if and I said to him, if I'd have logged in and saw what you were doing, it was obviously clear. It would obviously be clear to me that I know what you're doing, so I'd leave you alone. Why would I contest it? It's free mobs. You're already there. I'd try not to be a numpty, so I'd just leave you to it. I'd log out, or I'd try and find a different camp, essentially. Yeah, and it was weird. It was weird at how. Maybe this person generally is a perfectly reasonable person, but yeah, it's interesting how people look at the game. I hear quite a lot on the forums, like the whole rules lawing thing, and I haven't really experienced it myself before, to be honest. Generally because I try and avoid it, I guess. But I wasn't going to avoid it this time, and this person did eventually move on. Maybe when I said to him, look, if it was me and I logged in and I saw you doing it, even if he was fighting one and another one was up, because he had taken too long to kill one, I still just would have left it. I wouldn't have attacked it. And he did move on. Maybe he eventually sort of thought the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, but it's weird. Like, as I said, I've never really come across that kind of rules lawing too much before. And it's weird how people will... oops, hello, whatever, dude. I need to get myself a global cooldown thingy. I think the only thing at the moment that I can use is a telescope. Till Kunart comes out, I'm not sure. What is he doing? Either way, he's dead. Yeah, so that was quite an interesting experience. from a point of view of, yeah, just experiencing that, coming across a person who is, yeah, so, I don't know, so wound up or desperate for a camp or something that they would try and he was, I mean, in my opinion, he was infringing on my camp. You know, I know what the rules say and whatnot, but I think this is more about kind of acting decently, I think, personally. And as I said, I wouldn't have wandered around waiting for him to make a slight error so that the next mob is already up and then attacked it. You know, I just wouldn't have done that. And the fact that he kept running past me, you know, kind of made me feel that that's potentially what was going on. But yeah, it was interesting. But I didn't put the video up in the end. I'm just not, you know, no names, no pack drill. What's the point? It's just, you know, you just become like them. Then I think when you do that kind of thing. But I have got it on video, you know. So if at any point it needs to go up, maybe I'll do it. The other interesting thing, I know I've spoken about this before, but the other weird thing is just the internet, and I'll leave that hanging. You all know what I mean. You know, you go on to Twitter and you say something, that someone doesn't agree with, and because they don't agree with it, they hear something else. So it's a comment goes into brain, and there must be a process. I don't agree with this, but because I don't agree with it, that must mean that it's wrong, because I can't possibly be wrong. So then that means that this person must be wrong. Ah, ding! The little bulb goes off. This person's wrong. If this person's wrong, he doesn't agree with my opinion. That must mean that they're bad. So they're wrong, and bing, they're bad. And it goes from there. And then this person comes back and says, "What the hell are you talking about? You're wrong. You're bad. You're a Nazi. You're a, you know, misogynist. You're a racist." And that happens everywhere on the internet, you know. And I've kind of come across it recently, only once or twice, you know, nothing drastic. But you do a video and you say something, and people kind of listen to what you say, but because, you know, maybe it was factually incorrect, you know, that happens. You know, I'm often factually incorrect, but then, you know, I'm not giving out advice. You know, I'm not. If I'm talking about coronavirus, for example, I'm not telling people what they should be doing. You know, I'm just making a comment on something that I heard or listened to or whatever. You know, yeah. But it kind of goes through, and the same with the guys' camp as well. A couple of comments about the guys' camp. It's kind of like, you know, I've and it's all. I'm not sure if it's the first video that people watch, or they just have watched my other videos, but they forget about what I've said before. But they'll come in with an obvious comment that I'm perfectly aware of because I've spoken about it in a video before, and only one or two videos before that, you know. So yeah, it's but as I said, it kind of, you make a comment on a video and it goes into their head, and it kind of becomes something else, you know, and then they make just a stupid comment that kind of makes them look a bit stupid, you know. It's kind of, yeah, well, obviously, you know, or, well, actually, no, you know, I mean, there was one recently where someone seemed to get the impression that my expectation was to log in to the guys' camp, and there should only be 3 people there, you know, and I should get it within an hour. Well, that's kind of not what I said at all, you know. But yeah, what can you do? What can you do? That's just people for you. That's the internet, you know. People listen to something, and if they can't process it as their feeling, or their thoughts or their opinions, you know, or whatever. That's Yukiri, by the way, who was one of the people that gave me the augmentation spell. Yeah, if it doesn't process exactly with what they're thinking, yeah, yeah, it just doesn't process. It doesn't process, and so it comes out as though you must have said something incorrect, or this is what you meant when you meant something else. It's an interesting phenomenon on the internet, and you see it on Twitter quite a lot. Yeah, it's a big thing on there. It's a, you know. But those were kind of the two subjects I talk about before. It's just quite interesting. The rules lawyering experience, which is one of the first I've ever had, and it's quite funny. Although we sort of worked it out in the end eventually, I think. Yeah, but then the internet thing, you know, that thing where people will just listen to what you say or read a comment on Twitter or whatever, and it goes into their head and it comes out the other side as something completely different, you know, because it didn't fit in with their opinion. Interesting. But anyway, I did log into the guys' camp this morning, and there was 11 people there. And my expectations now for getting one are kind of zero, pretty much. No, I don't expect to get one now, and that's fine. You know, I mean, it is a vanity item, really. At the end of the day, it's a bit more than that as an ogre, because it makes, you know, I mean, I have got shrink, but it does make things easier. And it was more that it was kind of like, it was like a bucket list type thing, I guess, for the channel. Yeah, but that's how it goes. That is how it goes. I'll continue to log in to see if I get lucky, but I'll probably be playing my enchanter mostly to level 50 before Kunark, and you know, Augur will get to level 54 Kunark as well, but I'm not shelving him, but he's just becoming a bit of an alt type thing. What I might try and do, I'm almost level 45 actually, so I might try and do a bit of XPing in Guck. That might be quite interesting. Do a video of that. I'm always ultra cautious around other people in the game. It kind of, you know, I guess partly because of that, that incident that happened the other day. You know, I try to be cautious, and I'm sure you know, near the guys' camp, you've got like you come down the stairs, and in front of you, you've got like a room with 2 frog locks, I think, and there's one that roams, and I thought, oh, I might do some XPing here, but the one that roamed kind of stops near the ones in the room, but I'm not experienced enough with the room to know if I pulled it, maybe if I tried face pulling it, the others would come as well. So then I'm kind of fighting like near the guys' camp, and where all those people are up there. I'm thinking, oh, I don't want to die and somehow someone upstairs gets aggro and it all goes wrong, you know. So I thought, well, I won't do that. But I might try and be a bit bolder and log in and do it. Anyway, that's it for now. I'm going to go. I hope you've had I hope you're keeping safe. It all seems pretty okay around here at the moment. I'm feeling quite sick today, but you know, that is. But I don't feel any different to how I normally feel when the illness kind of hits me. You know, I haven't got a persistent cough or a temperature or anything, so you know, yeah. I hope you're all keeping well. It's weird, like we haven't heard of a single case yet in our local area. I know someone, like my wife spoke to a friend of hers who lives in Kent or Essex, and she said that a couple of doors down from her, someone's put a notice on their door saying like infected household. So yeah, that must be a pretty weird situation, pretty weird feeling. But yeah, we haven't heard of a local case yet here. I believe there are cases in Kent. You know, there are cases all over the country. But it's weird. It's weird when you're. It's weird looking at what the people going out just treating things as normal. I wonder if it won't really, like the gravity and the importance of it, of staying at home, won't really hit them until they're personally affected from a family member or a loved one or a friend kind of getting it. You know, Yuka is nearly dead there. I hope she does okay. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe some people just won't really understand how important it is until they're personally affected in some way. You know, who knows? That doesn't appear as though young people are as immune as we thought. You know, there are stories of pictures of young people catching it. I mean, I don't know if maybe these young people had an underlying illness that they were unaware of themselves. You know, maybe that's not something that's been mentioned, so maybe that is the case. Or maybe maybe their immune system's not very good. You know, immune system is affected by all sorts of things like diet and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I'm personally kind of on like a supplement regime at the moment. I'm taking some like vitamin D, which is good anyway, particularly living in the UK. You know, I mean, it's like, contrary to popular belief, we do get quite a lot of sun in the UK. Well, where I am anyway, in the like the south and the southeast section, and it does get quite hot in the summer. Although it's kind of like quite a muggy heat. But yeah, we don't get loads of it, and as somebody who doesn't go out a lot, you know, I don't get a huge amount. So vitamin D is apparently, and all these things I've researched, and there's quite a lot of data that backs it up. Vitamin D is apparently good for respiratory immune system, respiratory immune system. But I think the most important thing is vitamin C. I mean, I'm kind of taking, I think I'm on about 5 grams of vitamin C at the moment, which I know is really high in comparison to what most people, what you would normally take. But vitamin C is, as long as it's the right sort, is generally regarded as completely safe. It does affect some people in some ways from a gut point of view. You might get diarrhea or stomach cramps and stuff, but at that point you kind of just need to back off the dose really. But I'm taking 5 grams at the moment, and apparently it's been shown in some countries like China and South Korea and stuff, is that if someone gets the virus, you treat them with high dose vitamin C, and apparently that really helps. Apparently vitamin C is really good at killing viruses. So I've kind of got like a protocol at the moment where I'm taking, as I said, like 5 grams, which might sound a lot, but there's an ME doctor in the UK who I listen to. She's pretty good. One of the few, I guess, people who have kind of claimed to be an ME expert as much as you can be. And her protocol for if you feel you've got the virus, or any virus, is to like really flood your system with vitamin C, which is what they've been doing, in, as I said, in places like China and South Korea. I think in South Korea they've been giving people intravenously, which obviously I think is probably better because it, you don't get the stomach stuff. Which, obviously if it's going straight into your system. Yeah, apparently they've been giving people 24,000 milligrams. Oh, that happens sometimes. I hate that. It's really annoying. Yeah, which I guess is, what's that, 240 grams like a day. So yeah, and that's really been helping. So I've kind of got myself some good quality vitamin C powder. Yeah, and at the first sign of any virus type thing, I'll be upping my intake, and that will hopefully help. Anyway, yeah, it's turned into a bit of a ramble. Hope you're all doing well, keeping safe. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you again soon.